So listen, man, if you're trying to build an aesthetic physique, pushing as much weight as you possibly can is not necessarily going to help you achieve this, okay? Now, if you look at a powerlifter versus a bodybuilder, there's a major difference between them, okay? Powerlifters are obviously training for strength, but if you look at the average physique of them, they're not, most of the time, they're not aesthetic. They tend to be just bigger, big bone guys versus the bodybuilder who, obviously more aesthetic. And it's because there's an emphasis on different aspects of training that a bodybuilder does, which requires them to maybe lower their ego a little bit and not push as much weight. So while strength is important to put on muscle, what's also important, man, is to make sure that you're actually feeling the contraction, otherwise known as the mind-muscle connection. A lot of the times, I know when I first started lifting, my goal was to get aesthetic, and I'm still on my way of achieving that. However, I was just focusing on how much weight I could push because, when you're just starting out, it's one of those things where you kind of are embarrassed by the amount of weight you can push because you're just like, man, all these people are like, they're bench pressing 3 plates each side. I can't beat this motherfucker who's just benching the bar or like benching the bar with like a 25 or a 45 on each side. But here's the thing, man. When you're just solely trying to push for strength, you're not going to feel the mind-muscle connection and actually get the contraction needed to make the muscle become more visible. The mind-muscle connection is when you're actually doing the exercise and you actually are feeling the muscle that you are hitting actually being worked. So if you're doing a bicep curl, you physically can feel the contraction of your bicep, okay? And another thing on top of that too, besides the mind-muscle connection, is time under tension, okay? If you are just pushing for strength and you're doing the reps as fast as you possibly can, while that may help you build your strength, and it could lead to you putting on more muscle. Listen, I'm not saying that the more weight you push, the less muscle you're putting on. No, obviously, the stronger you are, the more muscle you can build. But if you focus more on like the bodybuilder type of training where it's just like you're doing slow contractions, but you're actually feeling the muscle being worked through the mind-muscle connection, and that may require you to lower the weight down a little bit, you're going to see results that are going to appeal to your goal of becoming more aesthetic. And even if we think about it logically, I'm sure you hear it all the time. Like, you want to be in the rep range if you're trying to put on muscle between 6 to 10, 8 to 12, whatever you guys hear online, right? You're not trying to do 1 rep maxes, okay? Unless your goal is obviously to build strength. There's some people who just want to be functional, right? But if your goal, man, is to be aesthetic, focus on those 2 things right there. You want to make sure that you're getting the mind-muscle connection, which means when you're doing the exercise, you can physically feel the muscle being worked, okay? As well as putting time under tension, which means increasing the time it takes you to do the reps. You shouldn't just be repping the bar like boom, 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 boom. Try to do them slow and contracted. Feel it, okay? This is gonna require you to lower the weight, and you might be like, bro, I'm not pushing as much weight as I normally do. And that's fine, man, that's fine. Listen, if your goal is to train for strength, then by all means, you don't have to listen to what I'm saying. But if you're trying to build your physique to be aesthetic, you want to focus on those 2 aspects, okay? Because it's going to increase and help you achieve that goal, man. And I've seen it from my personal experience, through my personal transformation when I was fat and overweight to where I'm at now. Although I'm not exactly where I am right now, I've seen a way bigger difference, and I've seen results happen way faster when I started emphasizing putting more time under tension and making sure that the contraction is actually being done through the exercise that I'm doing, okay? With that being said, man, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Today's video is a little bit short, but other than that, man, I appreciate everyone who's been watching. I'm going to catch you guys in the next one.